What's going on? This is Odario Williams from Grand Analog, live hip-hop band, lover of music, beat junkie, vinyl collector. Well, I was born in Guyana, South America, and then my parents moved to Winnipeg, Canada. A beautiful city nonetheless, and it's got a nice, tight West Indian community. And with that community, we had nothing arm's length to basically reach out to as a direct influence. You know, Toronto always had New York City as their sister city, and Vancouver always had Los Angeles. But in Winnipeg, we didn't have much. We had Prince down in Minneapolis, that was about it. So we had to stretch further for influences, like a lot further. You know, other cultures and other countries and communities, and what that did was really, I think, brighten up my palette musically. When I was a kid growing up, my mom bought me a Cookie Monster clock radio. It was about this big, had Cookie Monster on top of it, and I used to keep it under the pillow when she'd force us to go to sleep because we had school in the morning. And if you know anything about Canadian radio, we have CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, and on this show on CBC, it was called Brave New Waves. They used to play a lot of alternative music and a lot of weird, like rock and roll type stuff. And I loved it all. I used to listen to it and keep the radio under my pillow. And one day, out of nowhere, I probably would have been 10 years old, the announcer played De La Soul, Say No Go. And it changed my world. I mean, I was floored by whatever this music was. I was so inspired by this music that I wrote a letter to Brave New Waves at the CBC to ask them what that song that was that they played at 12:30 p.m. on a Thursday. I wrote them so many letters that they finally gave in to this kid and bought me the CD and sent it to my house in Winnipeg. And that was the beginning for me. I knew I loved this music so much. That was my hip-hop beginnings right there. I went to the University of Winnipeg up in Canada, and I took theater and English. I took all that artsy type shit. And I was also an MC, you know, I was doing my MC thing. And I was still living at home at the time. And I remember the phone rang, and my dad picked it up, and it was a local newspaper asking to speak to me because they wanted to talk about this hip-hop music I was making. And my dad didn't believe it. So he hung up the phone on them. He thought it was a practical joke. So there I was downstairs, I was probably doing the dishes or something, and they phoned back. He said, no, can we speak to MC Odario, please? He's a new aspiring MC, and we want to talk to him about a story about, you know, MCs to look out for. And he goes, my son? He doesn't rap. And I thought, oh my, hey, no, this is for me. Hey, give me the phone. Hello? Yeah, it's me. And they did this story on me, and I couldn't believe that someone was interested in the type of music I was making. And that was a moment I realized this can really be a serious thing. This could really be a career for me. Today, me and my boys, my Grand Analog crew, we're seasoned record collectors, as we like to call ourselves, beat junkies, as we like to call ourselves. So, having said that, we do a lot of record collecting, a lot of vinyl digging. And when you do that, you realize there's so much unearthed goodies out there, man. Still to this day, and there's great pieces of vinyl out there that has inspiring music. What we do is we bring that music back to the studio and just listen to it. Anything from Africa to Serbia to Turkey. I'm giving away a lot of our secrets, but I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of great stuff out there, and when we sit down and listen to it, that inspires us every single time we crack open something. We've had some great moments as we're coming up as a band. One that definitely stands out to me was playing the Vancouver Winter Olympics, the World Olympics in Vancouver. It's a great moment, but this moment I'm about to tell you about is not about playing the Olympics. It's about being by myself in a hotel room, and Questlove of The Roots was being interviewed because he was in Canada for the Olympics as well. And one of the interviewers on Much Music, I believe it was Much Music or MTV, had asked him if he knew any Canadian bands. And I remember I was getting dressed, I was putting on my socks at the time, all by myself in this hotel room. And Questlove said, yeah, I know Drake, Kanon, and I was just told I've got to listen to Grand Analog. And when he said that, I wasn't even eating anything, but I started choking. I think I was like choking on like spit or something. I don't know what I was choking on. I was trying to put on my socks. I can't believe Questlove just said he's just been told he's supposed to listen to Grand Analog. And no one was around to hear this with me. I was all by myself in this hotel room. I don't know if anyone was watching Much Music at the time. No one was taping it because no one has a VCR anymore. It's just like this moment just happened. And it was the biggest moment of my life, and I had it all by myself. I know a lot of artists out there, not just musical artists, but visual artists, painters, photographers. When you start that hobby that you love, and it's basically an expensive hobby, you get challenged, you know. Sometimes you kind of get tired of pumping all this money into what you're doing, or something happens in your life and you just don't do it anymore. And you know, I try to stay positive and inspired, and then just keep making the music we want to make, and also do it for my friends who've kind of said, okay, you know what, I love this, but I can't do it anymore. I don't think I ever want to be that guy to say that. I love what I'm doing, even though it costs me a hell of a lot of money sometimes. A hell of a lot. Just good music. When you listen to us 10 years from now, I don't want you to say, oh man, that sounds so 2013. You know, I want you to put it in and say, oh man, this is a good record. It's too bad I slept on it back then, but it's a good record. That's what I want them to say.